والله تلقاها.
تعالي في الطريق يا ضحى يلا اقعدي هنا. ولا حول يا احسن بس لو يجي اقول بس في
الله كريم الله كريم. ايوه
الله يابا انه جبرني جبر الله جبرني جبر.
ايوه خلاص.
يوم بجوا العين في المستشفى كيف ما دوت حاله كيف بدي يصحى كيف بدي يتخمط.
قولي يا الله قولي يا الله.
يا أما بدنا أروح يا أما مشان الله روحيني يا أما أنا بخاف يا أما روحيني.
Ever since the 1st of January, there's been an absence at the heart of the Abu Aram family. Their eldest son, 24-year-old Harun, was paralyzed after being shot by an Israeli soldier. His father, Razmi, has not returned to the building sites where he was working. Every morning, his neighbor Ashraf drives him to the hospital to be close to his son. The bullet went through his spine. Doctors think he will never regain the use of his limbs.
أكيد ها شنو شلون دواء شو الدواء التهاب يجيب لك بجيب لك أنا بجيب لك اليوم شو مالك شو بقولك ربطتك طيب حبك اللي دكتور خلاص أنا بشوف دكتور.
The altercation with an Israeli detachment took place on this road, in front of Harun Abu Aram's parents' house. The soldiers were raiding the home of their neighbor, Ashraf Amor. They came to confiscate a generator, causing an argument. Another neighbor filmed what happened. On the Ashraf video, Harun and his father can be seen trying to get the generator back. It doesn't show who fired the shot. The army claims that 2 Palestinians attacked the soldiers, a version denied by Ashraf Amor when questioned by military police.
When I saw Harun, just when he was shot, he was in this position. He had fallen over and was trying to get back up. He was in this position and they shot at him like that. They shot him, aiming directly at him. One soldier went to the car to speak on the telephone. He went to talk and he came back. He went to talk, he came back. He said something into the ear of the one who pulled the trigger. It seemed like he gave the order to fire, I don't know. But nobody tried to touch his weapon. And nobody was near him, or hiding as they say. They said that someone was hidden and tried to attack them. It's a lie. Nobody tried anything at all.
Al-Raqiz, their village, is located in Zone C, part of the West Bank placed under full Israeli control by the Oslo Accords. Destroyed houses are strewn across the landscape. One part of the hamlet sits on land that Israel has declared a military zone, but it's forbidden to build and install electricity everywhere. 2 months before the incident, a house built for Harun by his father was demolished by Israeli soldiers.
If they hear the sound of the generator from over there, if they hear it running, they come and they take it. They'll confiscate it, they'd never leave it. It's not forbidden to have a generator, but it is forbidden to build here. All construction is forbidden here. If they see us work with a generator, it's over. They'll take it with the rest of the equipment. They come in like monsters. They enter a house, look around, and they take whatever they find, not just the generator.
Most of the time they take the generator because there's no electricity at night. Solar panels don't provide enough electricity. That's why they take the generator, for the fridge, to wash clothes. They come, they find them, and they take them.
That's, how do they call it again? Abigail, which is there, and there are a few other settlement blocks over there toward the forest, where groups of settlers live in buildings. They're just living like us. They say that it's forbidden to build for us, but for them it's not forbidden. But as soon as we try to build a tiny room, they come with their bulldozer and they knock it down. Look up on the hill, they've built a lot more settlements than us.
The settlers keep a close eye on Palestinian construction from the hills, and they are well organized.
That's a new school which was built at the start of the school year, in 2 months. They built it illegally in Zone C, in the military zone, and we have already complained to the authorities of this irregularity.
Eitan and Naomi are part of Regavim, a pro-settler organization who have made Zone C their battleground. It may be in the West Bank, but for them Zone C is in Israel. End of story.
Did you take pictures?
Of course. I even made a video.
All year long they travel around identifying Palestinian constructions they deem illegal. On this day, Eitan and Naomi are inspecting the latest building they're troubled by, the school. They're annoyed that the army has not completely demolished it yet.
This was demolished by the IDF. But you see the school, right? But look at what they demolished. That little pile over there of rubble. So they come, they take a picture of this tiny pile of rubble on a very close focus, and they say, see, we've demolished. We're enforcing the law. But the school that's standing right behind it isn't in the frame. So we have to go to court every time and say, they say they demolished, the school is still standing, very soon students will be in here, they'll start busing them in from other places. The school is the anchor for a whole new neighborhood. The state of Israel would have stopped the construction before it got to this stage, which is what we wanted them to do in all of these instances.
Regavim is partly financed by public funds. Its members gather videos, photos and maps to mount legal actions. The group has been influential in helping settlers force the State of Israel to recognize that they are there to stay. Back to Al-Rakiz, the village of Harun's family, where electricity is forbidden. It is surrounded by settlements. Abigail is the closest, an illegal outpost under Israeli law, and yet connected to the electricity grid, not well enough in the eyes of the settlers.
It's not easy to bring in electricity because we don't have right now 100% on the maps that say this is Abigail. Yeah, we need, but they don't want to make the electricity bigger right now. It's not enough. We want to grow. We don't want to stay 45 families. We want to be bigger.
Ma'on, Abigail's neighbor, is one of the settlements developed south of Hebron. Rivka was among the first to settle there. She says she is aware of the rife inequality in these hills.
One of the bitter disputes with the Palestinians is around the subject of water. For example, because they don't have running water, being even less recognized than us, what they do all the time is try to steal it from the yeshuvim, the settlements around them. So we always have problems, like when we suddenly don't have any water. I don't get along with them, but I understand why they've been driven to do it. Because nobody is looking after them.
The day is starting at Yair's place, one of Rivka's neighbors. 3 of his 6 children need to take the bus to school. Yair says he feels like he's living in the Bible since settling on this disputed land.
The point is, there is a quiet war. The weapon for this war are houses. Armored bus is the normal bus for them. If you just look around, you understand why. You see this view. All what you see around, it's not Jewish.
It's West Bank land, but Yair says that since Israel controls this area, it's Israel, and the neighbors just have to get used to it.
I really want my neighbors to have a good life. I really want them to have electricity. I really want them to have nice houses, but they have to understand that this place is an Israeli place.
He accuses the government of procrastinating, of maintaining the ambiguity instead of just outright annexing the West Bank. He calls the land by its biblical name, Judea Samaria.
Israel didn't decide 100% to take Judea Samaria. Because Israel don't want to decide, so said, okay, the one in charge here is the army. Now, I know the army. The army know how to fight. The army don't know how to manage citizens. So the big problem is the army, it tells us, okay, not okay, yes, okay. It's very, how do you say, in the fog. If Israel decides this is an Israeli place, it will be an Israeli place. But the problem is, Israel don't want to decide.
The settlers are putting pressure on Israel's institutions to adopt their vision. With a solid grasp of the tactics, they are the ones taking advantage of this fog on the hills.